The only four scales you need to know. Part 2. Here it goes. Hey guitarists, this is Mike from Guitar Essentials, and I make that broad statement as I did in part 1, where it's the only four scales you need to know. And I wanted to give a little bit of explanation on that. You could also check out part 1. The link is in the description. You could also get it right here. So what I mean by this is we're learning major and minor scales, and then people could say, well, what about the modes? Well, the modes are built off these scales. What about the pentatonic scales? Well, the pentatonic scales are within the structure of these larger scales. So you do need to learn your pentatonic forms. That's very important. Also, we had a comment recently on the last video that what about the diminished scale and the whole tone? Yes, those are good scales to learn as you're an advancing guitarist, but you can get so much mileage by just knowing these four scales. And these four scales are the major scale, the minor scale, or natural minor, the harmonic minor scale, and the melodic minor scale. And in this case, we're going to use the jazz minor, that we're going to play it ascending and descending the same way. So let's first learn these four scales, and this is very similar to the other video, except now we're using the lower end of the guitar, on lower strings, different key, and a different scale pattern. So the first scale we're going to learn is the major scale, and we're going to start on the 6th string. We're going to use our second finger on the 8th fret. Then we're going to go to the 10th fret with our 4th finger. Now on the 5th string, we're going to go 1st finger, 7th fret, 2nd finger, 8th fret, and then the 4th finger on the 10th fret. And then on the 4th string, 1st finger, 7th fret, 3rd finger, 9th fret, 4th finger on the 10th fret. So here's the whole scale, ascending and descending. And sometimes you can choose to hit the top note or the octave 2 times. That's all personal choice. The second scale is the natural minor scale. So we start off the same way, and all the scales we're going to do are going to always start with 8-10. But on the next string, it's going to be frets 6, 8, 10, fingers 1, 2, 4. And then the same thing on the 4th string. So here's the whole thing. The third scale is the harmonic minor scale. Starts off the same way, 8-10, then 6-8-10 on the next string, just like the natural minor. And here's where it changes. Then it's 6-9-10. We use our 3rd finger on that 9th fret. That's the raised 7th, which gives it the harmonic minor sound. And the 4th scale we're going to do is the melodic minor, and we're doing it in the context of jazz minor, meaning ascending and descending, we're playing it the same exact way. So it's the same on the 6th string and the same on the 5th string. So it's 8-10, 6-8-10. Then on the 4th string, that's where it changes. We have the raised 6 and 7, so it's 7-9-10. So next we're going to do it in sequence as quarter notes to 80 beats per minute on the metronome. If you haven't grabbed your guitar already, I would suggest you do and play along. And then between each 4 of the scales, we're going to have 4 beats in between just so you have some breathing room. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do the same sequence, but no beats in between. So we play right into the next scale. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, we're going to learn a pattern that we can use with this scale to make it more interesting, and it also helps with more technical proficiency. So the pattern is, we'll learn it with the major scale, and then you can apply it to all the other scales. It's all relative. So we go up to the 5th, which is G, so we go, then we come back down to the root, then we go all the way up to the octave, 1 fret down, then back, and then all the way down the scale. So here's that pattern again. And so now we're going to do it with all 4 scales in sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to do double time. We're going to keep the metronome at 80 beats per minute, but we're going to play eighth notes. So one's going to be on the click, one's going to be off. So it's twice as fast. And we're going to show this close up. Here it goes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, and then once you get that down and smooth at that tempo, feel free to raise your metronome up to 85, 90, going up to 100, 120, and see how fast you can get it. Also, if you want free scales, chord charts, and exercises, click the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson.